Hey class, so this is a quick discussion on a couple things. One, how to do research and what is good research, and two, how to cite that research properly in a paper, and how to do your work cited page. Okay, so number one, you do not ever use Google to find your actual research. Now, I know that may seem counterintuitive, but in college and in scholarship, you use what's called peer-reviewed research, meaning that your best research you can find has been reviewed by peers. In other words, people who study this stuff their entire lives and have jobs sent around it, like professors or whatever. And and there's other kinds of also non-professor research that's good, but you have to think about where it comes from and whether or not it's good. For example, I would trust NASA. Those guys and women know what they're doing. So, they're a good source of information. Government websites can also be a good source of information unless politics kind of gets in the way and corrupts that information. But, it kind of depends on what it is. But basically, your go-to information is peer-reviewed. You do not use Google to do research, and Wikipedia is not valid research, as anybody can go in and change it. Now, Google is a very good place to get search terms that you will be using in your research. So, for instance, let's say you're doing your essay on, uh, damage caused by agriculture. You're trying to do some kind of research about agriculture. Google is a good place to go and get like search terms like these, that might be, good for trying to find the actual research. So you do a little bit of reading, and then do a little bit of reading on Wikipedia. Do a little bit of reading on what pops up. You see these terms like pesticides, fertilizer, toxic farm chemicals, poison fresh water, marine ecosystems, fertilizer runoff. You scroll down, look at Wikipedia, climate change, deforestation, biodiversity. What you do is you make a list of these search terms. That way, when you go to do your actual research, you have somewhere to go. And the way you do your actual research is log in, go to our homepage. There's my ugly mug there. Go down to Advanced Search in Galileo, and Galileo is full of nothing but peer-reviewed articles. And also, there's a couple of databases that are, uh, a couple of databases that are, you know, newspapers. All right. So, you can click on different search terms to kind of eliminate it. One thing you want to do is you want to click Boolean phrase. You want full text articles. Okay. You may want to start your research. Let's say it's some very, to make it recent, you may want to I'm putting the date in there. You may want to make it as recent as you possibly can. Okay. You may want to limit it to English unless you're multilingual. All right. And you can also, kind of limit this stuff down by clicking on these various boxes. But that's a good place to start. And so what you do now is, in Boolean term, what it does is it makes these, when you type in like and, or you put quotes around something, it kind of changes the rules to how that works. Like if you put in how it works, if you put in like uppercase and, it makes that sure that what you're searching has both of the words on each side of that and. But let's just say we put in agriculture. And one of our search terms, runoff. All right. And as you can see, you get a number of articles about this, and you can further limit these terms down, by putting in fertilizer or, another search term. But, right now we have 44,000, articles. So let's try fertilizer. Let's limit it down to fertilizer and see what that gets us. And that gets us down to 12,000. So, what you can do is further limit those terms by saying, like, I don't know, factory farms. Let's see how that gets us. All right, so now we're down to 291. So we're getting a little bit more relevant. All right. So you can also further these down. If you don't want an entire book, you can click over here on the side, see where it says academic journals. Now we're down to 20. Okay, now the good thing about these academic journals is they're peer reviewed. So now what you don't want to do is just start clicking on them. Okay, what I would do is right click, open in a new tab. Right click, open in a new tab. Right click, open in a new tab. All right, and then what you get is what's called an abstract, which is a summary of that article. And you can read this summary and decide whether or not you want to use it. Okay, if it's going to be useful to what you're trying to write. All right, so you can do that with each one, you see. Oops, sorry. You can do that with each one. All right, and another neat little tool is, you got the PDF over here, the whole article. And over here on this side, you have this cite button. So let's say that you use this, you push the cite button, and you roll down here to MLA 9th edition. All right. And it gives you the whole thing right here. All right. Now, when you copy and paste this, it may do funny things. You may have to hand type it in. And as you can see in a works cited page, it's supposed to be indented after the first line there. All right. So that is how you conduct and find research. First of all, you come up with a list of terminology. Second of all, you go to to Galileo and look for peer-reviewed articles. Now, if you don't, I posted a video last week about the process of trying to vet an author if it's not a peer-reviewed article, and as you can see, that's a whole lot of work. So it's always easier to use a peer-reviewed article. Now, as far as how to cite things in your essay and how to do the works cited page, just simply go to Google, and this site is already in your content in the first week, and pull up Purdue OWL's MLA formatting and style page. Now, as you can also put in your sources, and it'll cite it for you here if you didn't find your source in Galileo. But you can see on this side, it tells you general format, and how to do in-text citations, how they go in your essay, and also you have a sample works cited page, so you can see how it works. It tells you how to do your works cited page. Notice that they're all in alphabetical order. All right, if you don't have an author, for instance, this one down here uses a title. All right, and you also have a sample paper. So these are the sources that you need for adding research to the climate change essay. And I hope that that was helpful.